Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Nnamdi trial turns up pressure on Nigerian government. Nnamdi trial turns up pressure on Nigerian government. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. Nigerian security agencies failed on Monday to produce Mazi Nnamdi, leader of the increasingly radical secessionist group Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB) in Federal High Court for his arraignment. While government lawyers cited logistical problems for Kanu's absence, his lawyer told the court that he had been unable to access his client in 10 days and that he believed his client's life was in danger. Nigeria's government cannot afford any more mishandlings of Nnamdi. The safety and security of the country depends on it. Nnamdi was relatively unknown until 2009, when he started Radio Biafra, a station that called for an independent state of Biafra for the Igbo people in the southeastern part of the country. In 2014, he founded IPOB and was arrested the following year. Charged with treason, Kanu was incarcerated for over a year despite court orders and ruled for his release. At the time, many IPOB supporters were of the belief that the government had given Biafrans a perfect excuse to increase the agitation for freedom. Since then, Nnamdi and IPOB have done just that. Until recently, IPOB had been mostly on the receiving end of violence perpetrated by Nigerian security forces. However, following the establishment of the Eastern Security Network, ESN IPOB's armed wing, late last year, attacks against Nigerian security personnel by members of IPOB have increased rapidly. Following ESN's launch, the Southeast saw a 59% increase in attacks and a 344% increase in deaths from January to April. Gunmen carried out more than 20 attacks on security personnel in the Southeast, leading to dozens of security personnel being killed. This includes an attack on a correctional facility that freed nearly 2,000 inmates. The government, for its part, continues to respond to the attacks in its usual way, fighting fire with fire and painting everyone in the Southeast, whether supporters of IPOB or not, with the same brush. This penchant to try to outgun every problem was also at the root of Boko Haram's transformation. The government violence clamped down on a relatively harmless Islamic sect led to its radicalization, sparking an insurgency that is now in its second decade. The government rhetoric further reinforces its reliance on violence and intimidation to respond to perceived threat. This was most notably on display last month when President Buhari wrote in a now deleted tweet, "Many of those misbehaving today are too young to be aware of the destruction and loss of lives that occurred during the Nigerian Civil War. Those of us in the field for 13 months who went through the war will treat them in the language they understand. The tweet was a callback to the country's 1967 to 70 civil war, which led to the death of over 2 million people, in which Biafran separatists fought the Nigerian federal government in a quest for independence. Nigerian Chief of Police Usman Baba was even blunter than Buhari. Shortly after the government launched Operation Restore Peace to stabilize the southeast, Baba reportedly gave orders to his men to kill Biafran criminals, referring to followers and sympathizers of IPOB, and encouraged them to disregard any human right consideration in doing their job. These tactics are dangerous, inaccurate, and only